I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, to my Bibliosprand, Bibliosworn, and Bibliomancers. Thank you so much for supporting my hobby and passion even more. It means a lot to me. Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be my May TBR, and in the month of May, I plan to read 8 or 9 books, and I know that is very ambitious. Considering that I haven't finished 8 books per month within this year so far, I don't think I will succeed this month, but I like to have my options, and this month I plan to read a lot of big books. And the first book that I plan to finish is the first binding by R.R. Virdi. I am actually in the middle of reading this right now. I am about 550 pages into this. I am loving this one so much, and I still have 300 pages left, almost 300 pages left. And I think by the time I post this video, which will be tomorrow from now, from the time I'm recording this right now, I think I will be done with this one. And before I post my monthly wrap up, I will make sure to post a review for this book because this book is awesome. I love this one so much. So it is quite likely that I will finish this on the 30th of April by the time this video is posted, but who knows, maybe something happened and I will end up finishing this in the first week of May. Also, I really love this cover art by Felipe de Barros. I think it looks amazing. And in my opinion, from what I've read so far, the content definitely live up to the cover art. It even exceeded it. And after that, I plan to read Sword of Destiny by Sapkowski. This is the second collection of short stories in the Witcher Saga. I planned and wanted to read Sword of Destiny within this month, but life happens and I failed to do that. But I really enjoyed reading the first collection of short stories in the Witcher Saga, and I'm really hoping that Sword of Destiny will be even better than The Last Wish. And then the next book that I want to read, and this is a high priority for me, and that is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty quartet, and the Dandelion Dynasty has been in my TBR pile since 2017. Yeah, this has been 5 years. This has been 5 years in my TBR pile. And now that the series is coming to an end very, very soon, I think Speaking Bones will be coming out in June or July. So yeah, it's really near. And now I'm going to start reading this series. KTG, one of my favorite booktubers, really loved the Dandelion Dynasty, and I have read The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu, and also The Hidden Girl and Other Stories by Ken Liu as well. Both of them are collection of short stories and novellas. I love both of them, especially The Paper Menagerie. And well, considering how much I enjoyed reading the collection of short stories already, I think I will love reading his full novels. And for those of you who don't know about The Grace of Kings, this is the premise. The meaning of justice changes in a revolution. The archipelago of Dara was once divided into 7 kingdoms, with shifting alliance and constant battles, a tempest of diverse dialects and cultures. When a relentless king united 7 lands into one empire, some thought it would bring peace, an end to the turmoil. Instead, it brought stagnation and suffering, the anger of the gods, and finally, a rebellion. Kuni Garu is a wily bandit who is more concerned about being well-liked than with the affairs of the empire, until he meets his match, Jia. This free-spirited daughter of a well-regarded family sees greatness within Kuni. Driven by Jia's love and touched by the grace of the common people, Kuni sets out on an unlikely path to heroism, and perhaps a daring wager against the gods. Mata Zindu, the last scion of a family of renowned generals, is favored by the gods. Standing 7.5 feet tall, broad-shouldered and double-pupiled, Mata looks like a hero out of ancient legends. Determined to reclaim his stolen heritage, Mata catches wind of a revolution and begins a journey to become the greatest warrior of his age. Kuni and Mata become fast friends, and they wage separate wars against vast, conscripted armies and silk-draped airships in order to wrest Dara from cruelty. Fans of intrigue, intimate plots, and sweeping battles will find a new series to embrace in this highly anticipated debut by multiple award-winning author Ken Liu. And this is a very gorgeous looking end paper. Yeah, that's the map of the series. See? And although I really love the UK edition that I got from the Broken Binding, I must say that I love the US cover art more because Sam Weber is one of my favorite artists, and The Grace of Kings, The Wall of Storms, and also the third one, The Veiled Throne, the US edition, has a cover art done by him, and I love them all. So yeah, this is a high priority for me, and I am so excited to finally start reading The Grace of Kings. And after I'm done with The Grace of Kings, my plan is to read In the Shadows of Lightning by Brian McClellan. This is the first book in the Glass Immortal series, and this is not related to his Powder Mage universe, so this is a completely new book in a new series in a new world. And so far, this book has been praised, highly praised by Brandon Sanderson, Fonda Lee, and James Islington. the three of them are some of my favorite authors of all time. So that's really reassuring for me, and I have really enjoyed reading the Powder Mage Universe. Sins of Empire, the first book in the Gods of Blood and Powder series, which is the second trilogy after the Powder Mage trilogy, is, in my opinion, Brian McClellan's best work so far. And I am hoping that this, In the Shadows of Lightning, I think this is his first non-flintlock epic fantasy, and I'm really hoping that this will be his new best work. And I really love the cover art. I think the cover art, this is illustrated by Dan Burgess. It looks incredible, and this is the official premise of the book. Magic is a finite resource, and it's running out. Demir Grappo is an outcast. He fled a life of wealth and power, abandoning his responsibilities as a general, a governor, and a son. Now he will live out his days as a grifter, ruthless, and alone. But when his mother is brutally murdered, Demir must return from exile to claim his seat at the head of the family and uncover the truth that got her killed. The very power that keeps civilization turning, God Glass, is running out. Now Demir must find allies, old friends, and rivals alike, confront the powerful guild's families who are only interested in making the most of the scraps left at the table, and uncover the invisible hand that threatens the empire. A war is coming, a war unlike any other, and Demir and his ragtag group of outcasts are the only thing that stands in the way of the end of life as the world knows it. So yeah, this sounds really awesome. And well, as I said, I have really enjoyed reading Brian McClellan's book. I don't see any possibility of me not liking this one. And after that, I'm going to continue my reread in the Mistborn saga, so I will read the sequel to the Final Empire. It is The World of Ascension. Yeah, this is the second book in the first Mistborn trilogy, and this is the leatherbound edition. See, it's so beautiful. I really treasure this edition. And yeah, this is the end paper. I've shown this in my unboxing video. And yeah, I'm going to read from this edition. As I said, I'm a kind of reader who love reading using my special edition. And I know that The Well of Ascension is generally not liked by many readers. I think many readers of the original trilogy have mentioned that this is the weakest of the trilogy. I don't think that's really the case. I think this is as good as the Final Empire, just in a different way. I think this is more suitable for young adult as well. But you know, this will be the third time I'm reading through The Well of Ascension, and on my second read of The Well of Ascension, I found this to be the most compelling of the original trilogy on the second read. There is something about the story and the narrative in this book that just felt unputdownable. I really enjoyed my third read of the Final Empire, and I'm hoping this will be the same case for The Well of Ascension. I will say though, in my third read of the Final Empire, I really realized just how far Brandon Sanderson has improved in this prose, especially in the Stormlight archive compared to how it was in the Mistborn trilogy. Also, if you watch or read Attack on Titan, I think a lot of actions in the Well of Ascensions really felt like watching the anime. Then the next book that I plan to read is another one of my most anticipated book of the year, and this is Babel. Babel by R.F. Kuang, or in other words, Babel, or The Necessities of Violence, an arcane history of the Oxford Translators' Revolutions. Yeah, that is a very long title. And I love the Poppy War trilogy. I know that this has been mixed received by plenty of readers, but it is a trilogy that works so well for me, even though I found the main character to be so unlikable. But I think Babel will be a completely different kind of book compared to the Poppy War trilogy. And this is a dark academia, and this is also a standalone novel. And so far, this has been gaining many positive reviews, so I'm very excited about reading this one. Very excited, and so this will be a high priority for me this month, and I will also post a review for Babel and also for In the Shadows of Lightning on this channel. And for those of you who are curious about Babel, this is the official premise. Traditore. An act of translation is always an act of betrayal. 1828, Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, he trains for years in Latin, Ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he will enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. Babel is the world's center of translation and, more importantly, of silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation through enchanted silver bars to magical effect. Silverworking has made the British Empire unparalleled in power power, and Babel's research in foreign languages serves the Empire quest to colonize everything it encounters. Oxford, the city of dreaming spires, is a fairy tale for Robin, a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. But knowledge serves power, and for Robin, a Chinese boy raised in Britain, serving Babel inevitably means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to sabotaging the silver working that supports imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide, can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? What is he willing to sacrifice to bring Babel down? So yeah, this sounds incredible, and the cover art is done by Nico Delort, one of my favorite artists too, and I have a feeling that I will love this one, considering that I have loved the Poppy War trilogy as well. And after that, I plan to read The Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first book in the Legends of the First Empire series, and this is actually a second read. I haven't read Age of Swords and Beyond, so yeah, I'm curious to find out how this reread will work out for me, because now I've read the Rhyria Chronicles and also I've read the Rhyria Revelations twice. But for those of you who are curious, this is the blurb to Age of Myth. Since time immemorial, humans have worshipped the gods they call Frey, truly a race apart, invincible in battle, masters of magic, and seemingly immortal. But when a god falls to a human blade, the balance of power between humans and those they thought were gods changes forever. Now only a few stand between humankind and annihilation. Raid, reluctant to embrace his destiny as the god killer, Suri, a young seer burdened by signs of impending doom, and Persephone, who must overcome personal tragedy to lead her people. The Age of Myth is over. The time of rebellion has begun. So the first time I read through The Age of Myth, I really love Suri. Suri is a great character, and I think I will love her more as I continue reading through the series. And for Persephone, Persephone is a character that's mentioned often in the Rhyria Revelations, but well, this book took place thousands of years before the events in the Rhyria series, so Persephone is already a myth and a legend in the Rhyria, and this series I think will allow readers to find out the truth behind the revelations. Just like the Dandelion Dynasty, Legends of the First Empire is one of my priority series to finish this year. And also, before I forget, this cover art is done by Mark Simonetti, one of my favorite artists of all time, and the entire series, the entire Legend of the First Empire series has a cover art done by him, and they all look phenomenal. And then I plan to read The Fall of Neverdark by Philip C. Quaintrell. This is the fourth book in the Echo Saga series, so this will begin the second trilogy in the series, in the 9-book series, because this is a 9-book series divided into 3 trilogies. And I've heard that this trilogy, the second trilogy and then the third trilogy, is so much better than the first trilogy, and I think that's incredible because I have really enjoyed reading the first trilogy. All 3 of them are great in my opinion, especially the second book, Empire of Dirt. And now I've heard that from many readers of the series that the second trilogy is miles above beyond the first trilogy, so that is so exciting to me, and I think that will be a time skip after what happened at the end of the Relic of the Gods, and I am so excited to find out what's going to happen next. And finally, the last book that I plan to read in the month of May, I know that this is very ambitious, and this is The Lord of Chaos by Robert Jordan. So this is the 6th book in the Wheel of Time series. As I said in my review for The Fires of Heaven, I have mentioned that I plan to read the Wheel of Time series one book every 4 months, every 3 or 4 months. So the last time I read The Fires of Heaven, it was in January, at the end of January, so I'm going to read this at the end of May. I think this is one of the books in the series that has been praised very highly because of one event. I think it is called Do Mice Wells. Do not tell me anything about it. Just don't tell me anything about it, but I am excited to find out what this is about. But from my experience as a fantasy reader in the community, I think Do Mice Wells is one of the most iconic scenes in the entire series, at least from what I've heard. But this book is more than 1,000 pages long, so yeah, I'm not sure whether I will be able to finish it within this month or not, but I plan to. Yeah, I plan to, because I really enjoyed The Fires of Heaven. As I said, I am fully committed to finishing the Wheel of Time series, no matter how long it takes. And at the rate I'm going right now, if I'm keeping it consistent by reading 1 book every 4 months, I will be done with the Wheel of Time in 2024. Yeah. But you know what? This is a slow burn, and I think it's better for me to treat it this way. I tried binge reading the Wheel of Time and it just doesn't work. This is not the kind of series that I could binge read. The wheel weaves as the wheel wheels. and it requires me to read this slowly. So that's all the novels that I plan to read in the month of May. For the manga series, I am planning to continue with my reading of Dr. Stone by Bochi. I am halfway through the manga series now. I think it's fun, not amazing yet, but it is a fun series, and I plan to finish this manga series this month. And I think will reread Spy Cross Family by Tatsuya Endo again. I've reread the first 2 volumes, and I plan to reread the entire available volumes so far. And if you don't like reading manga, the anime adaptation for Spy Cross Family is available now, and I highly encourage you to watch it. But in my opinion, just in my opinion, I think the manga is still better. I think the expression is better in the manga, but I love hearing Anya's voice in the anime. Anya needs to be protected at all costs. So that's all the novels and manga that I plan to read in the month of May. I know that, as I said, this is ambitious. I don't think I will be able to read through them all, but hey, I like my options, and I will do my best and have fun reading and reviewing all of them. Let me know which books on my May TBR that you think looks the most interesting to you, and which one do you want me to review the most. And please do let me know which books are you planning to read within the month of May. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye.